Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today, and we are back for yet another race, this time at the Belgian Grand Prix. And if you guys missed the last episode at Hungary, then go watch the video guys by clicking the link in the top right hand corner of the screen to go watch yesterday's video before we jump into any spoilers here today. But this weekend we are here at Spa, and as always we've gotten some nice mixed conditions all weekend long here, including some rain in the race potentially towards the end of the Grand Prix, so that could be quite tasty. In terms of upgrades this weekend, we do have a engine upgrade on the car, more specifically for the engine power. It is a minor one, not a massive upgrade, not a massive difference, but still it is an upgrade nonetheless as we keep on improving the Williams car. And we have, I believe, 2 ultimate upgrades on the way anyway, so the car will improve in the next couple of races. Currently we are second with Racing Point pretty much equal to us in second place, and Red Bull still out front as the lead team in Formula 1. But overall, things are pretty good. Renault and McLaren taking a big jump forward this weekend as well in terms of the R&D graph. But this weekend, we jump into practice here, and it was a wet FP1 session that actually went into dry conditions towards the end, and we hit most of our practice programs with the exception of the qualifying performance test. That was the tricky one really. I just missed out and narrowly couldn't make it. And this weekend guys, we're going to be using 108% AI for qualifying, 110% for the race. I'm splitting the difficulties here because there was too much of a difference between the qualifying pace and the race pace from the AI. But jumping into this actual practice session, the car felt good. You know, I was happy with it. I always enjoy Spa. It's my top 2 favorite tracks along with Japan. You know, I just love these kind of ultimate driver circuits. That's what it's all about. And the car always tends to feel fantastic around here, especially if you've got a good setup on and you can really feel that confidence to want to push the limit. And this weekend is no different. The car felt good. Practice was a success really, and I'm looking forward to this qualifying session because it's one of those ones where if you nail the lap, you're going to feel that really good satisfaction as a driver that you really got the maximum out of the car. So we're going to kick things off with the Q1 session as always, and our days could be numbered with this. You know, I might change the qualifying format for next season possibly. I've been thinking about it lately. I've seen a few comments also addressing this, and there might be a change in store next season. So drinking the multiple part format for as long as it lasts, because it might not be here next season guys, as I've been trying to plan things for next season. But nonetheless, let's focus on the action and let's jump into qualifying then, and let's see how we get on as we go onto the track for Q1 here for the first time in this session. And no rain expected on Saturday, only in the race tomorrow on Sunday, so we're going to bear that in mind when it comes to our strategy, tyre selection and overall pace. And you can see here on my first run, it was going pretty well, a 10th and a half up through sector 1 on Sergio Perez, a good start to the lap. And the car was working pretty well. Sectors 1 and 2 are actually quite strong. I was losing a lot of time through sector 3. You'll see here we're 2 tenths down, or 3 tenths down, sorry, on Sergio Perez. Not a major amount. The lap's going pretty well. And we lost a bit more time in sector 3. That's where I seem to be struggling. I'm not sure where it is, because sector 3 is pretty much all flat out. You've got the bus stop, but I mean, I'm pretty good on the brakes and I'm quite good on acceleration, but we lost a few tenths there and finished the lap nearly half second off the pace and 8th place. But that lap will be good enough to get us through into Q2, and eventually we would drop off the pace a bit and drop to 7 tenths off, as Giovinazzi just out-qualifies us in P12, and also Verstappen, worth noting, qualifying on the medium tyres as high as P5, really strong pace. The Red Bull definitely looking like the car to beat around here, and Verstappen looking absolutely supreme in his Red Bull around this circuit. But you can see here currently in Q2, on my first run, it was going pretty well. We was 2 tenths down on the middle sector, but then Verstappen improved, so it's not quite accurate. But Verstappen, the first man, is the 139s here, and showing his pace in the Red Bull cars. We go towards the bus stop chicane, trying to hold on to this lap. We've got a Red Bull of George Russell in front of us here as we open up DRS, getting a bit of oversteer on the exit, but we cross the line, and we eventually go 8 tenths off the pace for P6. So we lost a bit of ground there in that final sector again, and that lap wasn't good enough, so I had to go again because both myself, Sainz, and the person in 10th, I think we were all 8 tenths off the pace, so it was very, very close. So I have to go again and try to improve. I know there's more lap time to find, so here we go, running on board for a lap of the Spa circuit towards turn 1. Important to get that car down to the apex and use the camber on the racetrack to help you out. We get a fantastic exit, and overall turn 1 much better. We find a lot more time, 2 tenths up as we go up towards Rouge, and then Radion flat out, of course, no dramas here whatsoever. We then open up DRS along the Kemmel straight, and a pretty strong third sector, 2.5 tenths up, as we now look for the 50 meter board as your reference to brake into Les Combré just before the 50, really throw the car in and trying to avoid the inside curve on the left hander there. That curve does destabilise your car, and then use all the curbing on the exit as we go down the hill towards turn 8. Again, it's important to keep a tight line here if possible. and try and get that good exit as we go down the hill towards turn 9. Important again here to get a good exit to really make sure you get some good straight line speed going down the hill towards Pitlane, one of the best corners on the racetrack, where you just throw the car in, take a downshift, take a deep breath, and just roll the car through, get quickly back on the power. And so far this lap's going pretty well. 3.5 tenths up as we go into the Fania chicane, down a couple of gears. You want to sacrifice to the right hander to open up the left and really get that good exit as we now go quickly back on the brakes, down the gears for Stavlo 1, quickly back on the power, and then through Stavlo 2 as we're only 2 tenths down of Verstappen here through sector 2 and about 3.5 tenths up still. So it's a strong lap, using some overtake mode on the back straight to really maximise this lap here as we go towards Blanchimont. Flat out here, of course, no issues here whatsoever. And then now looking for the brake reference into the bus stop, braking after the 100 metre board down to second, possibly first gear if we need it. And they're really important again to get nice clean traction and a nice smooth exit, opening up the DRS there at the final corner and up to the line, and we improve by 4.5 tenths and jump up to 4th place, only 4 tenths off Verstappen's time. So overall pretty decent, and my best lap of the weekend by far up until this point, and that lap would be good enough to get us into Q3. And Giovinazzi as well joins us in the final part of qualifying there, but it's looking pretty competitive, you know, amongst some of us. There's a lot of cars there in the 4/10 of a second region. Verstappen's looking a bit too quick for everybody else. I think the Red Bull and the Verstappen combo's looking untouchable. But in Q3 we're in for 2 runs. The first one was on used rubber, and it was, I believe, the set I used in my first run in Q2, and we get a big chunk of oversteer on the exit there as we end our first lap. And you know, it wasn't great. 40.7, that's 4 tenths off my Q2 lap. So I know there's time to find, and we can definitely improve. That Q2 lap was very, very good. So if I can match that, I'll be very, very happy. So here we go then, on board one last time in qualifying to try and give it everything on this lap as we go towards turn 1, braking as the DRS detection line appears, down to first gear, quickly back up to third on the short shift and try and get the power down. And that is a really strong turn 1 there once again. Quickly on the throttle, using overtake now to really maximise the speed through Eau Rouge and Raidillon, and not losing any momentum up the hill, and then go back up to a hot lap for the rest of the straight. You're basically using overtake mode through Eau Rouge as curves, basically, to give you more straight line speed. That way you don't lose so much momentum. As we go towards the end of sector 1, we are improving here on our previous lap, carrying a nice line there through the Les Combes section and now through Malmedy, getting a nice bit of momentum, just about avoiding the grass on the exit as we now go down the hill towards Brevage. Verstappen improved to a 39.6. Very strong lap there from Max Verstappen as we now go through turn 9 again. Important to not run too wide here. You will invalidate if you're not careful down the hill. And we're a fraction up as we go towards Pitlane here. Going to throw the car in. And this time we actually find a better lap time here. Really committing to keep it nice and tight on the exit. And so far, it's a good lap. Now through Fania chicane, quickly down a couple of gears. Again, focus on your exit through here. I ran a little bit too wide, but we managed to get away with it. And somehow didn't get any validation there for running a bit wide as we now go through Stavlo, getting the power down really early. And we get a fantastic exit on the exit here, and going now on the back straight. It's going to hopefully help us out massively as we're 2.5 tenths up here. And 4 tenths off Verstappen, so we could be in for maybe a 39.9 if we nail this lap, possibly. It depends how good our bus stop is and how much time we can find here. We're going to try and brake after the 100 metre board, down to third and then down to second. Really important to open up the left hander as much as you can. You get the power down as soon as possible. We get a fantastic exit there, and we improve by half a second. We found 2.5 tenths in the bus stop alone, and that was a very good lap. A 1 minute 40.1, my quickest lap of the weekend by far. And pretty much maximised the lap, to be honest. I think looking at Russell and Magnussen, I maybe could have got them, but overall P6, it's a good qualifying. We out-qualified Giovinazzi there by half a second, so a strong performance here on the Saturday. But we're now going to move the AR difficulty back up to 110 for the race to have a bit more of a competitive Sunday, and we're going to see if that's going to help us or affect us a bit more. But either way, that's ever qualifying, and we're now going to move into the race for round 13 for the Belgian Grand Prix.
In the 48 races held at Spa between 1950 and 2015, the race winner has only started from pole position on 16 occasions. Qualifying yesterday may have set the order for today, but expect the unexpected here at the Belgian Grand Prix. As the saying goes, of course, anything can happen. And you know what? It usually does. Spa-Francorchamps then, a historic 19-corner circuit with a lap distance of 4.35 miles. There's over 100 metres of elevation change here, and with long stretches of the lap spent flat out, a good top speed will be vital for success. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant. And tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Magnussen, George Russell, Martinez, Gasly, Vettel, Ricciardo, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Sainz, Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, and Hülkenberg, Albon, Stroll, Lando Norris, and Kimi Raikkonen. Kvyat and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Right, here we are then on the grid for the Belgian Grand Prix, starting from 6th place. Not a terrible qualifying by any means, but we've got an uphill task, and we're going to have to try and do our best to compete with the Red Bulls and racing points around the circuit, which seems to be the quicker car around here. And the rain is going to play a big factor in this race. You can see at the end of the race, we've got rain expected, and that could really throw a spanner in the works. The rain has a tendency to arrive earlier in the race than what it says on the monitor, so there might be an outside chance we might have to just stand the softs until the rain arrives, and we might have to try and drag it out and potentially suffer with some really bad tyre wear. So we'll keep an eye on the weather and see how that progresses. And hopefully we can make the right call and benefit from a strategy. But in terms of fuel, we are running the lowest possible fuel here today, and that is still 1.5 laps over. So we're going to probably use most of that in this first part of the race and get nice and light before the rain arrives in this race. With that being said, though, the target's simple. I want to try and at least get a top 5 finish, maybe even a podium possibly, and hopefully the race pace is better. So let's jump into it and let's see how we get on here for round number 13 of the season for the Belgian Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Let's try and get a good start here as we get ready for the 5 red lights at Spa-Francorchamps. Lights out and away we go. It's a good start. That Red Bull though of Russell comes right across to block me off. So I couldn't go down through the little gap as Alfa Romeo has launched one down the inside. I think it's Pierre Gasly. Yes it is. He's gone for the move and he's made it work. So we've lost the position there off the start. Not ideal whatsoever. As we go up towards Eau Rouge, let's try and get some momentum possibly. And to really gain the slipstream up the hill. Let's see if we can make some overtakes here. We're running rich mix and also overtake mode. We're fully maxed out as we go down the Kemmel Straight. There's not much in it, but we are slowly gaining on George Russell here. We're going to go to the outside. We're going to have a look. Can we get the move? Yes, we do. And we get past George Russell around the outside. As there's a battle for the lead here with the Racing Points and Red Bull. So far, so good though. Let's see if we can try and get Pierre Gasly here. He's a bit slow through turn 8. I thought about going around the outside, but I normally get run out of road, so we'll back off as the Red Bull Verstappen hits the front. Hopefully it's not a straightforward race and he gets challenged from cars behind us. Here comes George Russell. I didn't realise he's down the inside. It's a Pouon. He's going to go for it. He makes it work, but we go back around the outside. I get a warning for running wide, but I mean there wasn't much more I could do there. The track was running out very rapidly. We're going to put the squeeze on Russell there to stop him going around the outside, and we're going to hold on to 6th place as Ricciardo now queues up behind for an overtake. So we've got to try and turn the engine up here and pull away. Seems like we are down on straight line speed, so we've got to try and crank it up. Important to stay within 1 second of Gasly as well for the DRS on lap 3. So head down, but let's see where this rain is. Hopefully we'll find out shortly. Ricciardo's really catching me here. He's flying onto the back of me. We are down on engine power. It is noticeable. As here goes Ricciardo around the outside into the chicane, but we're going to just keep him behind at the bus stop and stay in front for now. We need to try and open up a gap here and pull away. Verstappen setting the pace. Let's keep pushing here and try and get back within slipstream of the car in front to help us out. But so far so good. Verstappen trying to pull away already. Hopefully the Racing Points can respond, but for now it's P6. Here comes Russell. He's got a lot of straight line speed. He's really flying up to the back of me here. We're going to keep our car in the middle of the racetrack, but we're struggling to catch up to the guys in front. Unfortunately, we are lacking straight line speed quite badly here. We're going to hold it on the brakes into the bus stop, and Russell won't challenge as DRS will now be enabled in this next lap, but I don't think we're close enough to get DRS from Pierre Gasly.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
I've run it in a bit hot into turn 1 as well. That's not going to help, and we're not going to get DRS on the car in front, so we could be in trouble here. The good thing is Verstappen's not running away out front. The Racing Point's keeping under control. I think it's Sergio Perez. But here comes Russell. It's going to be a very easy move. Even though I'm maxed out when it comes to engine power. Here he comes. I'm going to block the inside. Show him the long way round. Can we hold it on the brakes on the inside? Yes, we do. Russell tries to go on the outside and return the favour from lap 1, but it doesn't work out. And now they're battling in front here. So this is my chance to try and close up and get within a second. As Gasly's getting stuck in there for P3 in the Alfa Romeo. Let's try and close in. Okay, we're within Leclerc's slipstream here, which is good. Although I'm dropping back a little bit, I'm struggling to stay close enough, but we should have DRS, which is the main thing. Russell touches the back of me. There's some debris, so Russell might have lost an end plate there. He hit the back of me under braking. That's his fault, not mine. It's always a responsibility of the driver behind to adapt to what the driver in front's doing, and you know, I don't know what he was doing there, to be honest. I was just holding my line in the middle of the racetrack, just making sure he wouldn't go down the inside into the bus stop. Good news is they're battling in front now, so we might have a chance to get past some of these guys. We're going to get incredible momentum up the hill, absolute full power. We're going to get in the slipstream. I'm a little bit far back from my liking. I don't think we've got enough juice on the straight to really challenge it, although the Red Bull's in trouble. I think it's a Red Bull, or no, the Alfa Romeo side of Pierre Gasly. Side by side here, all these guys battling away. We're just going to tuck in, maybe do a little switchback move going here. We do get the momentum, but not enough speed. Just got to be careful here with these. Very easy to lose an end plate. They're still going side by side. But this is good for us because we're saving a bit of fuel in the RS while sat behind them. Looks like Leclerc's going to just edge it into Pouon. Let's keep the pressure on now. I think Gasly's vulnerable here. He hasn't got too much straight line speed. I think he might be saving the RS possibly, even though the lights are not flashing. We're gaining on him here. We're going to have a look. I thought about it. He broke very late, did a good job, and hold on to P5 for now. We're going to keep the pressure on him though.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Okay, interesting. I'll have a look at that in a minute. As we go through turn 1, let's get this sorted out first. There we go. Right, let's look at the strategy.
Copy.
Right, we'll go for that now. The sun seems to be coming out here, so no sign of rain. I don't think we're close enough to Gasly here. I think he's got DRS on the car in front anyway, so we're not going to make any moves just yet. So we'll just sit behind for now. Gasly all over the back of Charles Leclerc here. He might go for a move. Leclerc keeps his car in the middle of the track, like I did with Russell. But this time Gasly doesn't hit the back of him, unlike Russell. I wonder if we can make a move here. Personal best. I want to try and make some progress now, but ultimately we are just lacking so much straight on speed to really make a difference in this race. Because even when I make the overtakes, I probably won't be able to make it stick. So I've got to make sure I time this correctly. You can see how much we lose in acceleration there to Pierre Gasly. He just really cranks it up in the Alfa Romeo, and we lose so much. We're too far back at the minute to really go for a move here, I think, because everyone's got DRS, so it's kind of frustrating. So we're not really going anywhere at the minute. Look at this, Gasly all over the back of Leclerc here. Into the Lecom, we're going to get very close, but not close enough. Ricciardo behind and dropping back a little bit, losing time, I think. Oh, big bit of oversteer there, struggling a little bit on the tyres. I'm going to ask on the radio for the...
Expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
Oh, there we go, there's the answer. I was going to ask about the weather. Because I'm tempted, even though the original strategy was lap 8 for mediums and they suggested lap 10, I might go back to lap 8 because I can go to these tyres earlier considering the rain's going to arrive. So I might do that, to be honest. I might go a little bit earlier on the mediums, potentially trying to undercut the guys in front. So we'll bear that in mind. Oh, contact. There it is. Again, the AI doing the exact same mistake. It seems to be a trend or something in their coding. As Gasly loses an end plate to the back of Leclerc.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
That's going to make Gasly a little bit more vulnerable, which is good. I wonder if Ricciardo's got the same issue behind us because he's not really catching me at the minute. And Russell's dropping back as well, so that's Gasly now with one less end plate on his car. Looks like the racing point of, I believe, Magnussen is starting to pull away here and stretch away from Leclerc. But Leclerc does still have the RS, but we are gaining here. We've got a chance. Look at this, let's try and maybe make something happen here. I've got to be careful though. Leclerc, of course, we know has got wing damage, so he's going to be extra slow through the corners. Can I get a switch back here, possibly? Yes, I can. It's close. Leclerc coming right across there to block. Gasly on the outside. He's got wing damage, so he should struggle to get the power down, and he does. There we go. We get past Pierre Gasly. Up to P5 now. Can we get past Charles Leclerc here? Got plenty of ERS to use, which is good as well. That's going to help us out massively. Let's try and close in on the Ferrari and try and make a move. Looks like he's saving a bit of energy because he's not too quick on the straight, and when someone's not quick compared to us, that's a good sign. Let's try and set him up here, possibly for the bus stop maybe. Wouldn't mind that. Let's see if we can get a good exit here. There we go, that's pretty good. I think we're close enough to get a nice toe all the way down the back straight. Yes, we are. We're just tucking in, we're gaining nicely here. We're going to turn the engine down to medium because we're going to hit him in Blanchimont otherwise. There we go, now we turn it back up. Close in. Leclerc will go defensive. And he runs a bit deep, he locks up. That's the invitation I need. We're going to go on the outside of the final corner here. Can we pull it off? Yes, we do. Up to P4, side by side though. It's a drag race to turn 1 as Perez and Verstappen pit. Here comes Gasly though, down the inside. Got to be careful here. There we go, we come out on top. P2 for us on lap 9. I should have pit in there really, but the battle kind of distracted me a little bit. Let's push on. I've got company though. Gasly's behind us. He's going to try and go for the rear overtake. I'm going to hold the low line, let Gasly go to the left hand side. He's got no downfall, so if I can just defend here, I might be okay, but he's got way more speed than me. Oh, we almost got to the back of him. I had to lock up the brakes and be careful. So Gasly gets back in front, which is what I didn't want. But he's going to be vulnerable with wing damage, of course. We can put him under some severe pressure. We get very close there in turn 8. Keeping the pressure up through 9. Running a shallow line. We're just going to keep the pressure going. Let's see if we can get him through pool 1 possibly. He might run a bit wide with some wing damage, of course. Yes, he does. We're just so close to him. We're literally on his gearbox. We're going to have a look around the outside there, but there's no way through. He stays in front for now. I'd like to know where this rain is, but here we go. Let's go again. Let's try and get past. Here, Gasly here. We're gaining in the slipstream. We're going to get to the inside. There we go. We're going to beat him. Get the low line. Put a squeeze on him. There we go. I'm going to pit in this lap, I think.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Boxing for the mediums. I could go softs again, but I don't know when this rain's going to arrive, so we'll play it safe. There we go, box in, job done. Right, onto the medium tyres then. Very straightforward strategy. Hopefully we don't get held up.
Antonio is in the pits. Antonio in the pits.
I was hoping to maybe hold up Magnussen there, but didn't quite work out for us. But here we go.
Complete, go now.
Good stop, 1.8, away we go.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Up to speed then, Ricciardo's just behind us. He's managed to jump Leclerc. So Ricciardo executing a very nice undercut.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon.
I want to keep the engine turned up here so I don't fall into Ricciardo's DRS, but let's push on this lap. Let's try and make some progress and get towards Magnussen, who's stuck in traffic. While we're tucked in behind Stroll, getting a little bit of a slipstream. I'm keeping the engine turned up because I want to stay out of a second of Leclerc behind. Hopefully Stroll will pit now and release me with some DRS into clean air. And there you go, he does pit in. Exactly what we wanted, and we get DRS on the pit straight. Job done. We're going to reclaim a handful of places. Up to P5 again. There we go, job done. Let's keep pushing now, keep the pace up. Magnussen's up the road. Now we've got to keep an eye on the sky. It's still sunny though, that's the thing. The sun's actually come out, so no sign of rain just yet. Okay, Carlos Sainz pits. He's the last one to pit in, so we're going to take 4th place. A net P4 in this race. We've got 2 racing points and a Red Bull in front, which is what I expected. The only way we're going to beat those guys is with a bit of a shower, a bit of a rain sprinkle.
5 minutes until rainfall expected. 5 minutes until rain.
Okay, there we go then. We've got some kind of reference now, so we know what to look for. So far so good though, it's pretty much cruise control now. I'm holding P4 quite comfortably. We're now waiting for the rain really to spice this race up.
Some information on Norris. They're retiring from the race.
First retirement of the Grand Prix here today. Lando Norris in the Haas, out of the race. Will we get a safety car or a VSC? Probably not, we haven't had one of them in quite a while now. And we're yet to have a single safety car in this entire game so far. So it seems like it will continue as normal as we edge towards the rain. Ooh, another yellow flag behind. Someone's retired. I think it's an Alfa Romeo. It might be Daniel Ricciardo, I think. No, Pierre Gasly. Wow. Another retirement. 2 in 2 laps. Will there be a safety car or VSC this time round? Looks like there won't be once again. So we continue on our way. Another yellow flag.
Caution, caution. The virtual safety car is out. Reduce speed and maintain a positive delta. Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Well, unfortunately, there's not much that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to pit, but VSC at the late com, I think someone might have got spun round. It seems because no one's retired. I saw a yellow flag. It was a McLaren, I think. So, yeah, overall it gives us a chance to have a bit of fuel in the RS, that's fine. So we can push on the restart. But this rain's getting closer and closer now. It's a shame it wasn't starting to rain, because I'd probably roll the dice on Inters. But yeah, overall,
Green flag. Green flag. We're racing again.
lost a bit of time there. But back to racing speed we go. I wonder if the rain will arrive in time for us to go into Inters at this point, because it's looking quite slow. Leclerc's lost a lot of time behind us, as has Ricciardo's. We've actually extended our gap a little bit to the cars behind. Oh, here we go. The rain's starting to come down now. It has arrived. Let's see how intense it is, and can we go to the end on dries, or will we have to come in for Inters?
A new strategy is available on the MFD. Copy that.
Okay, so straight in for the Inters, it's going to be pretty intense then. So we're at the right part of the track to not lose much time. But unfortunately the leaders are also at the right part.
Box this lap, please.
So the leaders won't lose much time. But everyone wants us to come in. Looks like it's quite intense, but the track still feels like it could be dry tyres. So this is interesting. I'm going to oblige and do what the team says though, because the leaders are coming in. So one of those racing points might be in trouble. Oh my god, yeah, the track got really bad, really quick. The racing points are stacking, so we might have a chance here. Running wide didn't help, but into the pit lane we go. We're limping into the pits. There we go. Right, hopefully the racing points lose a ton of time by stacking up. That would really help me out. We've got the Inters ready, so we're all good to go. Let's see how much time that racing point loses. It's getting served now. It is going to get held up a little bit, as DRS is now disabled. Here we go. We need a quick stop from the boys.
Release.
Fantastic, quick turnaround, and we've gained a lot.
Antonio is coming in for a stop.
If only that rain had arrived a little bit later and maybe made the leaders stay out for one more lap, we could have cashed in massively there, but we've gained a load of time on Magnussen, so that's good news for us. Let's see if the conditions get worse. Will we go into full wets? Possibly, because it was heavy rain on the monitor at the start of the race, so that could happen. You never know. The gap has pretty much stayed identical for the last 3 laps to Magnussen. Not catching or losing, it's just literally sitting at 3.8, 3.9 pretty much. So it's going to be a P4 I think in this race for us here today. Unfortunately, we're just going to miss out on the podium. Here we go then, in towards the final sector for the final time this race. In the end, Magnussen really got his foot down and actually increased the gap from 3.9 to 5.9 in just 2 laps. As usual, the AI pick up their pace right on the last couple of laps to push for the fast lap of the Grand Prix. That's how they're coded. But yeah, overall, a decent race. You know, we gained a few places, and we did the best we could with the limitations of the car. We know that we're down on straight on speed, so around power circuits like this, it's the best we can do. But there we go then, through the final couple of corners, and it is going to be P4, and yet again a strong points finish here at Spa, and I'll take that.
Not good enough. Not good enough at all. Let's push harder next time, okay?
Red Bull pulling out all the stops today. What a great win. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, they clearly have a car that comes alive in the kind of conditions we were dealing with today. It's a very balanced package in the wet, and what that means is that the drivers have confidence to attack. And having that confidence gets you on the power earlier, it lets you brake later, and can put you a long way up the road.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
Right, so looking at the final race results here today, Max Verstappen wins in Belgium, and all the Dutch fans are sure to be going crazy here today. Perez P2, Magnussen P3, a strong double points finish and double podium finish for Racing Point. And we come home P4. Worth noting, maybe it might be a glitch on this screen, but Verstappen's only scored 25 points when he should have scored 26 because he managed to get the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Ricciardo P5 in the Alfa Romeo ahead of Charles Leclerc. Disappointing race for Ferrari, really, considering where they started. Hamilton P7, Sebastian Vettel P8, Albon P9, and Nico Hulkenberg running out the top 10 for Renault. Then we've got Bottas missing out on the points along with my teammate Antonio Giovinazzi, along with Raikkonen, Kvyat, Sainz, Russell, Stroll, and Magnus and Grosjean, And then we've got Gasly and Norris retiring from the Grand Prix here today and out of the points. In terms of the standings after that race, Verstappen cuts down our lead once again down to 7 points going into the next race at Monza. Perez in P3 a little bit further back, but still he could get into it if the Racing Point improves. They could be a dark horse in the championship. Magnussen up to 6th place, overtaking George Russell there. And in terms of the constructor standings, we are in 3rd place. We lose 2nd to Racing Point, as you'd expect. Of course, it's got a big haul of points, and Red Bull pull away slightly from all three of us, both Racing Point and Williams and Ferrari. So the gap increases, but the fight is still on as we go into the next race at Monza. But guys, that is it for this. We're now going to move into the upgrades. Okay, so here we are then on the laptop, and we currently have 2 ultimate upgrades on the way. One for the front downforce at Singapore, and we have one for the weight redistribution in the next race at Italy. And we're going to add to that by adding some more engine power, and it's going to be a very big upgrade because then we unlock 3 absolutely massive engine power upgrades for the rest of the season. And we're going to get through these very, very quickly. But with this upgrade, it will take us pretty much neck and neck with McLaren. And even though it says we're one of the top teams, we're not really in terms of performance because all we've done is fuel consumption upgrades and ERS ones. So all the engine power ones are yet to arrive, all towards the back here. So we're going to add that on, hopefully a bit more engine power for the next race in Monza, along with the weight redistribution upgrade as well, which is going to be an ultimate one. Hopefully both of those arrive and don't fail, knock on wood, and we can have a decent race next time out in Monza. But guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Career Mode. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on the video, and also get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications to not miss any videos from me, and also finally check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next episode very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.